But who is actually listening? Because somewhere inside all those conversations are the questions nobody answered and the people quietly making the community better. And that's exactly what I wanted it to be, a companion for the people running the developer communities. Hi, I'm Shashank and this is what I built. So, a developer can ask Saarthi a question directly in the Discord. Saarthi looks through the community available knowledge and uses Sarvam AI to generate the response. So instead of someone asking or searching through documentation or searching the old messages, they can simply ask the Saarthi. But there is one obvious problem. What if the AI, which is responsible for answering people, doesn't know it? He doesn't know the answer. And that's the where next part comes in, the human escalation. If Saarthi doesn't know the information which is sufficient to answer the particular question, it doesn't just make up the questions and answer it with some random knowledge. It tells the developer that this information may need verification and creates an escalation. So that creates a dedicated thread where the community team can take over the conversation. And the important part is that the entire conversation is tracked. So the escalation isn't just a ticket, it is just created and forgot. It has its own life cycle from open to in progress to resolve and finally close. And the community manager can actually manage all of this through the dashboard while the developer continues talking through the Discord. But then I thought that a community isn't just about questions and support. Yeah, so it is also about the feedback that we get from the developers, from the people in the community. And this is where I wanted to go a little deeper and just avoid the normal feedback system. So a developer can submit a feedback from Discord, but once the feedback is submitted, we start a conversation thread in the Discord, and the people from the community can respond in the thread about their views of the feedback. Either it is positive, neutral, or negative. And Saarthi just analyzes the sentiment of the thread. And so in the dashboard that okay, this is the particular feedback and this is the sentiment of the community related to this particular feedback. So instead of just throwing the feedback somewhere in the Discord, we are also analyzing that what is the point of view of the community related to the feedback. So a feedback just is not a message anymore, right? It is a conversational level of community signal. Now there is the part which comes into picture, which is community intelligence. So once we start collecting the signal like these, we can ask a bigger question. We get a bigger picture that what are the questions which are coming again and again, what are the problems that developers are facing, and what kind of feedbacks are we getting. And most importantly, we have to recognize that people who are helping the developers in the Discord or in the community, they should be recognized also. So this community intelligence helps and tracks all the things. The people who are the top contributors who are helping people by sharing their knowledge or solving their problems, or what are the specific questions which are coming again and again, and what needs to be updated in that. So as you can see the dashboard, these are the signals, and these signals just show that okay, these are the things which are there repeated, and this is the thing which you can do to make it better or make it resolve. Now all of this is just contributing to the knowledge layer, because community managers can manage things like the documentation, FAQ, and all the other stuff, and that knowledge is uploaded to the Saarthi. And using the Sarvam AI document intelligence, we pick up the key points of that knowledge and store in our knowledge base. So Saarthi isn't just generating the answer, it is also using the knowledge given by the community team, which actually will be used to answer the specific question or specific task or the specific features. So it is already a evolving knowledge which is there. So this is where everything comes into a connection. The knowledge helps the questions, and questions can become the escalations, and developers can provide the feedback, and feedback become the conversation. Now, and those conversations create the sentiment and other community signals, and those same signals are letting the community team help to decide what to do next. So the whole idea of this comes into that listen to the community, understand what matters and act on it. So technically I built the Sarvam AI using Python, Discord API and Next.js and the core AI with the Sarvam AI for its intelligence layer. But for me the interesting part isn't simply just that I use the Python and all. It is that Sarvam became the building block for solving a problem that I have personally seen in the developer community. Because as community grows, you just don't need more people. You need to understand what is the problem faced by the people. And that is what Saarthi is there to help with. Now, I have spent a lot of time building the student developer community, and one thing I have learned that community isn't made just by the announcements. So you can have amazing hackathons, amazing developer programs, but if the right developer doesn't know about it, it doesn't matter. And that's actually where I see the opportunity with Sarvam. Sarvam already has a program. I will focus on the community layer that take those programs to the developers. So I will start convincing established developers to switch to Sarvam. I will start with students and the young developers. They are still exploring the technologies, building projects, joining hackathons, and deciding what they want to do. And I have seen this firsthand. So when you build a genuine connection with a developer early in the early stages, they don't just become a user. You grow with them. So I would directly go into the colleges, coding clubs, technical communities, and hackathons and meetups. Not to just announce this Sarvam, to talk to the developers, understand what they are building, help them, and show them that this is something you can use Sarvam form in your project, or this is where the Sarvam actually fits. Now, building community is not about building a program. One-on-one relationships, one-on-one connection is just a starting point to start with. But a community is about connecting those people with each other. So I would build a student community around one simple idea. So it is not a program where students get a specific task to complete it. It is a place where they can find their teammates, get help, showcase projects, and learn from each other. And discover the opportunities which are already existing in the server. Because when one student builds something useful or something interesting, so the another student gets inspired to build something more interesting or more completely different using the same thing. And that's how a community starts growing. You discover, you build, you share, you connect, and you contribute. Now, I wouldn't I wouldn't measure it just by registrations or the community size. I would look at the developers building projects, helping each other, and contributing to use server. Because I don't think being a community manager or developer is about convincing the developers to use your technology. It is uh, maybe it is about giving the technology a reason to be trusted. And if we start from the roots, build genuine relationships with the student in the early stages, and give young developers a place to grow together, we are just not acquiring the users. We are building the next generation of server builders.